Welcome to the Tip Off Podcast. My name is Neil Fall, aka Ming. My wife Stephanie is not here, but she will be at the next show. Today we have the pleasure to have Gregory Senat, a brother from the motherland, former former teammate. I was his vet. Was my rookie guy, and now he's a professional, football player. Play for the NFL. Bounced back a little bit. I got drafted with the Raven Ravens, and then moved with the Chief. He got a big old ring. But anyway, he's gonna tell us about his journey later on. But welcome to the show, Greg.
Man, Ming, appreciate you having me, bro. It's been a minute.
Always, always. I
And you
know
said
it's
the
been
ring,
it's
so I had,
been
I had to put the ring on for you just because you talked about it.
wow, that's
Just because you
crazy.
talked about it, I had to bring it out.
Wow. Okay. Well, I got one too.
Yeah, that's the real one. That's more important than
That, for sure. So go ahead, tell us to the viewers a little about yourself.
Well, a little bit about myself. Like Ming said, my name is Greg Senat, originally from Queens, New York, by way of Long Island. Me and Ming played college basketball together up at Wagner College. He was my vet. When I came in as a freshman, he was a senior. You know, he put me through the ringer in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta it takes pressure to make diamonds. But we
Mhm.
played 1 year together in college, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It was one
yeah.
year, 1 year together. Um, I was a 4 year basketball player at Wagner College, 2 year football player. Started playing football my senior year there, and played a fifth year there for football. I guess we'll get deeper into that
Yeah,
as we go on, but
for
just a
sure.
brief overview. Ended up getting drafted by the Baltimore Ravens in the 2018 draft in the sixth round. Crazy experience.
Wow.
From there, uh, played from the Ravens after my first year. I got signed to the Kansas City Chiefs, where I was blessed enough to be part of the first Super Bowl winning team in 50 years there.
Crazy.
After that, did a brief stint with the Cleveland Browns on their practice squad before getting picked up by the Dallas Cowboys on active roster of this past season, and then just signed to the Cleveland Browns again uh,
Hmm.
after the season ended in March.
Wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's a crazy intro. Um so let's just go back. Let's start from the beginning. You know, obviously you went to did you go to high school first or did you went prep right away?
So I did high school first, went to my local high school. It's called Elmont High School in Elmont, Long Island. It's a 7 through 12. So I went there from seventh through the end of my junior year.
Hmm.
Played a whole bunch of sports in high school, played lacrosse, played a little football. Main sport was basketball. Um, Education was always super important, coming from a first
Yeah.
generation immigrant family, like school is number one. So my
Yeah.
parents took pride in me being in AP classes and taking my school very seriously. But I played like those three sports, like I said, at Elmont. And the end of my junior year, uh, I really knew that I needed to find a way to get a scholarship to go to college. I knew like
Right.
that was the only way my parents would really afford for me to go to college. So really
Well,
try to dedicate myself to the sport. What are you gonna
so
say?
let me ask you a question. At that time, you trying to figure out how to get a scholarship.
Mhm.
Did you know for sure you were going to have a scholarship for football or basketball, or was you just like, you know what, all basketball
Man,
for now?
man, at that time I didn't know if I was gonna get a scholarship in anything.
Right.
So I love playing basketball. I knew that was like my favorite sport, but I wasn't always the best athlete. Like I started playing
Right.
basketball when I was in fifth grade, and I mean in the beginning I couldn't chew and run at the same time. Like it was bad. But I got better. I definitely got better as we went on. I remember my junior year, we made it to the Long Island State Championships, which is like the game you play before you head up to states, and we
You stay.
lost in a triple overtime game to Hills West, which is like Tobias Harris, his old high school, and they had a
Right.
really good player named I forgot his name, but he was really good on that team. And we lost in a triple overtime game. We played the semifinal before that game at Hofstra, hit the clutch
Hmm.
free throws at the end of the game to seal the game. I'll
Mm.
never forget that. But even with all that, I had no offers. I had no interest, anything like that. I guess being in a small high school like that is hard to find
Right.
exposure. But I
Right.
was playing AAU, so I had that in my back pocket. So I knew after my junior year that AAU season was all I had. So I
Right.
really tried to dedicate that entire summer to just trying to get better as an athlete. Like I remember that entire summer just I just told all my friends, like, I'm not hanging out, I'm not doing anything. I'm strictly
Right.
focused on playing basketball and getting better. And
Right. Right.
I had a great AAU coach. His name was Navro Allen, and we played. He coached me. We played for, man. You know, I'm getting old and I can't remember my AAU teams, but he was my AAU coach, man, and he put a lot of time into me. I remember like 5 days a week in the summer, like I'd ask my dad, just give me $10 so I could, take the top, which is the dollar van from
Right.
Long Island to Jamaica Station, to take the LIR to Long Island just so I could train with him every day. He would just run me through it, man. We used to go to this high school out in Long Island called St. Anthony's High School, where he would train like the women's basketball team there. And then before he'd work me out, and then we eventually got kicked out of that gym, so we just went across the street to the park, and we'd be out in the park grinding, man. And he worked me, and I got better. And the story goes, it was the end of the summer, played a whole bunch of live peer events, and I still didn't have any offers, still
Right.
didn't have anything. And there was this last tournament of the summer called Hoop Group. You know
Yep.
about Hoop Group
Oh yeah.
down in
I was
PA.
drafted there for the All Star. I
Yeah.
was the first one to get drafted actually for the
Hey
All Star.
man, that's where the story goes, bro. Like he so one night he calls me. He's like, "Hey, pack your bags. Tomorrow morning I'm driving you down to Hoop Group." I said, "Really?" Like I didn't pay. I didn't
Right.
even know what was going on. He's like, "Don't worry, I covered everything. I signed you up. We're going."
That's
So
dope.
pack my bags. He picked me up 6 a.m. in the morning. He brought me down to Hoop Group. And like this is like do or die for me at this time. Like I know
Right.
like there's gonna be a lot of coaches here. I have to do well. So I go into this Hoop Group tournament, and the only thing on my mind is like I just have to go. I just have to go. And it was one of those moments where everything kind of clicked for me. And I'm playing well. He told me two things. He said, make sure you hustle and you run down the floor every time. And that's the only thing I had in my mind. So I was
Right.
just doing that the whole tournament, and I'm playing well. We're winning games, and by the end of the tournament, by the end of the 3 days that you're at this camp, I see the top 25 All-Star team, and I'm on the list, and
Mm.
I'm like, damn,
Let's
I'm on the
go.
list.
Let's
Like
go.
this is crazy. So I'm playing with a bunch of guys going to Villanova, going to St. John's,
Right.
Santa Third, and so I'm just in this surreal moment where like, damn, I'm really playing with these guys. I'm
Right.
like on the top 25 list.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it was a great feeling. But what was crazy is that he had signed me up for the year after. So I was originally class of 2012, and he had
Oh.
signed me up as class of 2013.
Right. We classify
So
you.
I hadn't reclassified yet. I didn't have
Oh.
prep school, nothing. So I'm playing under the class of 2013, all this stuff. I go home, and there's scouts everywhere. They're watching every game. They're following you
Right.
around. And I'm home for maybe 3-4 days. And I remember me and my brothers are sitting down in front of the TV watching Nickelodeon, watching like Fairly Odd Parents of SpongeBob or something. And my cell phone rings, and I pick it up, and it's like a Delaware number. I'm like, okay, all right, this is weird. Pick it up. It's like, hey, this is Greg Senat. I said, yeah, I forgot the head coach at the time. He's like, da-da-da, this is the head coach of University of Delaware. I had a scout down there, Hoop Group. We really like how you play. We want to offer you a full ride scholarship.
Ooh.
I'm like, oh, really? Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. He's like, you don't have to make a decision now. I know you have another year of school. Just letting you know. I was like, thank you. Me and my brother start flipping out. We're going crazy. And I'm like, dang, all right, things
Finally.
calm down. We go back to watching TV. I get another call. It's a Connecticut number. It's head coach of Quinnipiac. Same
Ooh.
thing.
Right.
Another number, Virginia number. JMU calls me.
Yeah.
Then I'm
Dope.
like 4 division offers in one night, and I'm ecstatic. Like we're on cloud nine. We're having a great time, and then all of a sudden everything settles down. I remember it's like, damn, I'm not class of 2013. These coaches don't know this. They're
Ooh.
definitely gonna pull the scholarship offers. So like I'm just praying. I'm like, yo, God, find a way. Like help me figure this out. Like I don't know what's gonna happen, but like these are
Right.
great opportunities, but they're not necessarily for me. Little did I know, my coach. When you go to Hoop Group, they have a bunch of like high school coaches there who kind of raffle you, and they pick
Mm-hmm.
you by a raffle. My coach at the Hoop Group camp was a head coach at a prep school up in Connecticut called Marianapolis.
Yep.
He calls me a few days later saying, "Hey, Greg, really loved you on our team. I really want to see if you want to come to my prep school and play for me." Like this
Right.
is a godsend at this time. Like, oh wow, really? He's like, would I be able to reclassify? I say, of course, you could come in and reclassify. We'll
Hmm.
put you on a partial scholarship. Everything kind of falls into place. And I end up going to Marianapolis and playing 2 years there, reclassify my junior year. And we had 2 really good years there. Made the playoffs in the NEPSAC my senior year. We ended up playing Tilton. They had Nerlens Noel and
Yeah. Yeah.
like Wayne Selden, all
Yep.
those guys up there.
Yep.
And we
No,
had a great time there.
That's
And
crazy.
yeah,
That's crazy you say that because, um, so far in all the conversation we had too with most of Latif and all the other people we had on the podcast, and we talk about prep. I could just the prep life and what it does for you. Yes, high school is great. And I'm blessed to even have a prep team here, prep program here in Halifax where I'm able to like elevate a game and really expose those guys to college level to the next level. Um, and you can touch base on that if you want. But like, do you feel like high school was great, but prep definitely give you a little extra boost?
100%. Like you said, prep when you go to prep school, man, it really turns you into a man because you're. This is my first time being away from home. I'm 16, and
Right.
my whole life I know my house, I know my room, I know my parents, I know my close friends.
Mm,
Everything is comfortable. And this is the first time I'm living away from home. Like my parents are 3.5 hours away in New
right.
York. I can't just go home whenever I feel bad or whenever I feel like
Right.
things aren't going
Right.
right. Like it really
Yeah.
forces you to figure things out. You become a man up there. You know what I'm saying? And other than that, like for the most part, when you're at prep school, you're probably one of only 1 to 10 minority kids in the entire school.
Mm,
And we come from lesser backgrounds. So most of
mm,
these kids, they're legacy kids where their parents come
mm,
from money, their parents own this, their parents own that, and they get everything. And we're wearing the same uniforms every
mm.
day. Our
Mm-hmm.
main job there is really basketball. Like that's what we
Mm-hmm.
came here for. So there's a lot of things that you got to go through when you go to prep school, but it definitely you definitely become a man. And on top of that, it's the competition, it's the
Yeah.
practices. It's like it's when it first becomes real. You really get like prep school is the right name for it because you really get prepped for college,
Yeah.
where like
Yeah.
this sport starts to become a job, and it's like you see every day you're playing against grown men, post grads that
Right.
this is their last chance. Like they need this opportunity to get a scholarship to go to school. So
Absolutely. And even practices, I mean,
practices,
um,
yeah.
intense, right? I mean, my practice is pretty intense. The kids know,
Where'd you went to
you
Brimmer in May, right?
we've been in Mensa, yeah. We've been in
Wilbraham and
Mensa.
Munson,
Yeah.
Wilbraham and Munson,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was tough. That was a tough one.
I mean, I could imagine you coming over here from Africa, man, by
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. No mom, no dad.
Some of that,
Really had to feel like you say, really had to figure it out. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, and like, even if I'm not playing or whatever, well, at first, I wasn't playing as much, but it was, I can't turn around and say, hey, mom, dad, why am I not playing? Or whatever. It was like, figure out in practice, just kill everybody.
Figure it out.
And that's kind
Yeah.
of like the mindset I took to, when Wagner, when you came in, it was like, I'm killing everybody. You always want to kill everybody. It doesn't matter who. I just want to
No
kill whoever,
mercy.
because I did it there. Hey, mom and dad's not around me to,
Yeah.
again, like you say, privilege, and I don't have like something to fall back on. This is it.
Yeah. This is
So
it.
Marinopolis prep was awesome. So you did 1 year there,
2 years.
right? 2 years.
Hmm.
What was your how was your stats? How did you look from first year to
Shoot.
the second year? What's the big
So,
difference?
like I always think back to like I told you that one summer where I just dedicated myself to my craft and try to become a better. Like I transformed my body. I was never in the best shape, but that year I transformed my body, and I think scouts took notice of it. And I
Mm,
kind of took that over when I went to prep school. That first year you're just getting your feet wet. This is the first
mm-hmm.
time I'm experiencing this. There's so many things thrown at you. The school, the workload they give you at these
The
prep schools,
papers. Oh
the
my
papers. Oh
God.
my God! First time I'm writing college level papers on
Right.
top of we're having these 3-4 hour long practices. It's not the
Mm-hmm.
NCAA. There's no limits. He could keep
Right.
you till bed check. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Facts.
So there was a lot of just new things happening. But that first year, it was more of a year of me just getting my feet wet and just getting my like I said, getting my feet wet and understanding how
Mm-hmm.
things work up there. But my second year is when I really took off, and I took that
Mm.
summer again, played prep school. I played with a AAU team called Metro Boston up there
Yeah.
in New England. You're probably familiar with them,
Yeah.
and had some really great exposure with them, and they helped my
Yeah.
recruitment a lot. And I really just worked on my body. So when I came back that second year, I truly was a different player, physically,
Mm.
mentally,
Yeah.
everything. My game got sharper. Like me from Wagner, where was big man. You know how basketball
Yeah.
we had to run the
Yeah.
floor and rebound, but in prep school, I was the best 3-point shooter on my team.
Right.
Like I was
Oh,
lethal.
I
Like I was
know.
doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? So I remember
I was
going.
dribbling in high school.
I was dribbling in high school, where I dropped 21 on South Kent with Nolan. You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying? So like
Falcons was good too.
boy, they was good, and I was doing my thing. So that second year is really when my recruitment took off, and I kind of had like that's when you have those college coaches in your gym every practice
Yeah.
watching you play pickup, watching you play 1-on-1, watching you recruiting you, talking to you. So
So fast
uh,
forward now,
fast forward.
how many offers you have your senior year? You about to graduate?
So my senior year, all in all, I probably had about 20 different Division I offers, and I had cut it down to three. So it was Drexel University,
Ooh.
St. Bonaventure University, and Wagner.
Mm.
And Wagner strictly on the fact that, I
That's
mean,
crazy. Hold on, I gotta stop you for that one because it's funny. If I tell you same thing, my offers I had like
yeah,
UCLA, I had big
wow,
time schools, I had
yeah,
Tulane, and I still end up with Wagner. But I
yeah.
want to tell you my part. I want to hear your part. Why did you choose Wagner?
Yo, Wagner was on my list solely for the fact that every practice I had, every game I had, either Bosch, Coach Scotty, Coach
Mm.
Babel,
Mm-hmm.
or Coach Webb were in the stands.
That's tough.
Like they worked hard for me. Like they
That's
showed me
family,
that they wanted me to go there. You know what I'm
right?
saying? I remember one day in particular when we were having practice or just playing pickup in the gym, and
Mm-hmm.
Coach Webb pulled up, and by this time I already had a little bit of rapport with him because I'd
Yeah.
seen him a few times. So I walked up to him after. I said, "How you doing?" Now he had like shades on or something. He took the shades off, and both his eyes were bloodshot red. I'm like, "Yo, you good?" He's like, "Man, yeah, I just caught a case of pink eye. It's pretty like bad pink eye. Like his eyes are
Wow,
puffy, like he can't see." I'm like, "Man, you guys still came up here to see me? Like you had pink eye." He's like, "Yeah." He's
that's
like, "Man,
crazy.
we said to show you love, man. We want you. Like, yo, you having you came to
Wow.
the decision of what you're trying to do." And that
See,
was one of the moments I realized, like, damn, this guy has full on pink
and
eye,
you
and
know
he's still
what?
up here watching me.
You know what, Greg? That's crazy you say that because even my seniors, like every time they're on my academy, I always tell my players like, go where you want it. Don't go for
Yeah,
the name. Obviously, all of them want to go D1 and want to. I get it. Go where you want. I mean, I had Davidson, like I said, I had Davidson, Tulane. They came in, but it was nothing compared to Bosch, literally Bosch, Danny, Bobby coming in to
hmm
win momentum almost every week.
hmm
Bosch was almost
hmm
slipping out of the prep school. He was there every time, just coming to
yeah,
see Ming, 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 Ming. And
yeah,
that really hit me again. Coming from immigrant, somebody really wants you.
yeah.
That's it. You got me.
That's it.
Because it means you're actually gonna care about me, even you're gonna put me through hell.
Yeah, 100%. It shows you that, like, through the good times and bad times, at least I know I'll be somewhere where I'm wanted. And, like you said, being an immigrant kid, already casted off as weirdos or, teased as
Right.
the African booty scratcher,
Right.
this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how it
That's
goes.
facts too. That's a
So,
fact. That's true. That's true. But like, go where you want it. That's usually,
oh,
and
wait,
then you just sound
hit on
Wagner.
the
That's
head.
crazy. Wow.
Yeah,
How was your first
I
visit? I
wasn't.
can't even remember your first visit.
So, listen, my boy, I never took a visit. I took a visit to a few other schools, and
Wow.
I remember I took a visit to Drexel. And
Right.
Drexel, the head coach of Drexel was actually Coach Bosch's coach in college.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I took that visit, but then I never took a visit to Wagner. I knew it was in New York. I knew it was
Yeah.
close to home. So that
Shit.
was a
New
plus
York.
for
New York.
me. But that just goes to show like how hard they recruited me and how much they showed me they wanted me. Like I remember when I committed, Coach Babel, no, it was Coach Bosch and Coach Webb was in the building.
Hmm.
And they watched this practice. And I think this might have been the first time Coach Bosch came,
Hmm.
like when the head coach came. So
Hmm.
Bosch came and he came there with Coach Webb. And then after practice, he's like, yo, let me holler at you real quick. So we sat down and they talked to me for like an hour. Like they wore me down. They was like, come on, like, talk to us. What are your schools looking like? I'm like, yo, you
Right.
guys are in my top three. Like, I'm really considering. He's like, what's stopping you from pulling the trigger? Like, pull the trigger.
Right.
You know how Bosch
Right.
is. Like, come
Right.
on,
Yeah.
like, pull the.
Yeah.
I got Bosch, I got Webb here, and they wore me down. Like, we in the gym for like 2 hours after practice. I low-key, I feel like they starved me. I miss dinner. It's like bed checks in an hour. I was like, all right, and then like they just wore me down, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna commit. Like you guys show me that you want me. I'm gonna commit right
Yeah.
now. He's like, I knew it. Boss pull out of his duffel bag, pulls out a Wagner t-shirt. He's like, I knew you're gonna come. Maybe this is. I don't want to get no one in trouble. Had some Under Armour shoes for the kid. You could cut this out
Hey,
if it's, you know what I'm saying.
hey.
But going back to the dorm, and prep school, you dorm with kids from all over the world. Like I had
Yeah.
kids from
Oh,
China, everywhere. But
Asian.
you
Yeah.
family. Like you living in the boys' dorm. So I pull up with the Wagner shirt all my boys, my Asian boys, everyone's like, "Are you committed?" I was like, "Yeah, committed, bro." Everyone's going crazy.
That's
It's
crazy.
amazing. Like just feeling the love. All my teammates are
Best
excited for me.
feeling, man.
So yeah, it was a great feeling.
That's the best
It was a
feeling.
great feeling.
So now, your first year Wagner, you coming in with your little, cockiness, thinking that you all that.
I was confident. I was definitely confident.
Confident, yeah, very confident. Bosh telling me, "Oh, we got another big coming. He's bigger than you. He's doing this." I'm like, "Bosh, okay, that's cute. Let's see." Meanwhile, it's me, Mario, Hugo,
Oh,
Nolan. I mean, you
Orlando.
got Orlando. You got a lot of big. So I'm like, this guy, he has no idea. He has to be like, man, you got to be LeBron James because there's a lot of bigs out here waiting
There
for
was a
you.
lot, man. It was a
So
lot.
for your first practice, your first experience, tell me like obviously coming in, like I say, you confident, which is great. You always gonna have, you need to have it as a player. But what kind of like shift your mold and like um what really like stood out to you your first time?
Well, my first year in general, what stood out was just like how hard we worked. Like I remember my first summer, like as soon as I graduated prep school, I was on campus the next day.
Yeah,
So there
yeah,
was no off period. Like
yeah,
I
same.
graduated, I'm in college. And then we started those summer workouts, which were,
Hmm.
they were hell. We playing pickup every day. We balling, we grinding. And that wasn't too bad because I like to hoop. I was used to
Yeah.
playing pickup that and third. But once the preseason started and we
Hmm.
started doing the Staten Island runs and I forgot what they're called, but like the suicides and
Yeah,
the reverse suicides, whatever, 10
yeah.
and under 30, whatever. Like the work was like, oh wow, like yeah, he runs, like he works us. And just understanding the defense and the playbook, like
Mm.
Bosch is a huge defensive coach.
Yeah,
And I remember it just took me, I didn't understand the rotations. I didn't
yeah.
understand like I had to have a foot in the paint when the ball is weak side.
Hmm.
And he didn't take it easy on me. Like he ripped into
He
me,
definitely
man. He
did.
made it tough for me and Nolan my first year. You know what I'm saying? I remember one practice in particular where I just wasn't getting I couldn't get it right. Maybe my body was tired and it was just too much. And then he had Scotty pull out a chair and he put it on the side of the gym. He said, "Greg, come over here." I walked over there. He said, "Yo, sit down." I sat down. He said, "All right, get used to this. We're gonna be the whole season." And I'm sitting down. I'm a freshman. I'm like, yo, why did I come here?
Yo.
Why did I come here, man? Like, this is not what I signed up for.
Right.
And I was sick. I just remember y'all laughing, and I'm like, yo, this is miserable.
So tell us a little bit like what was your like your mentality after your first like kind of like half of the season where again like you said Bosch between the chairs the vets are yelling at you, we just going
Hmm.
hard. I mean I'm sure in the game I'm playing a lot of minutes, you're like fuck I want to play too. Do you know what I mean? Like how throughout that time until middle of the season when you really start getting some playing time, you start getting it in. What was your mindset like? What was your focus like?
I mean, I feel like in general, bro, we were just a tough team. So like, I had a lot of vets to look up to. Like I had you, I had OP,
Yeah,
I had Latif, I had
yeah,
KO, I
yeah,
had
yeah.
Dewan. I had all you guys were tough dudes, and I realized very quick, like if you're not tough, you're not gonna last here. You know what I'm saying? Just
Facts.
being there for 4 years, you know how many people I've seen transfer and leave, they just can't take it. So for
That's
me, it was
true.
just figuring out like, yo, like I got to find a way to contribute. And
Mm,
if I'm not going to be allowed to dribble and shoot threes,
mm,
I'm gonna have to have energy and I'm gonna have to rebound.
mm-hmm.
And I knew I was a strong dude, and I knew like, okay, the best way for me to help this team and get on the court is play defense and rebound, which was our identity anyway. So
Yeah,
I just took
yeah.
that very seriously. Like whether it was all the rebounding drills, the ones at the top of the key, we boxing out through the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like I took that seriously because I knew that's my way on the court. And
Mm-hmm.
my rookie year, as my freshman year, as the year got on, I started focusing on that, and I just saw my minutes start to increase.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to see, okay, Bosch was like, oh, we need a spark. Greg, get in the game. Nick's tired. OP's tired. Go in there. And I'm like, all right, if I don't do anything, if I don't score, I'm gonna get every rebound I can, and I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
put it back. And that's all I did. And I focused on, and I ran
You
the floor.
did too.
So some hard screens, and that's all I did. And I
Boy,
helped the
you had
team in the
some
way I
poop.
could.
You had like 200 poop back.
Yo, put back kicking my freshman year, man. Definitely,
That was dope
definitely.
though. That was dope. But you know what?
That was cool.
Everybody, and it's funny you say that because again, one of the things that even my academy, I'm trying to, tell the guys like, yo, everybody has a role to play. So like
Yeah,
we all
yeah.
know Kenny's the guy that bring the ball up. Ain't nobody bring the ball up like that. Obviously the team
Hmm.
bring the ball up too. But if you want a quick bucket and transition, give it about a Kenny.
Get
That's
a
all
ball
the
Kenny.
bucket. Guy
Yeah.
Latif from the corner for a quick shot. He most likely gonna get in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like high flyer, Mario Moody, me, him and I.
Hmm.
We all over the glass. OP transition, he's gone. So like the biggest thing is know your position and know what you can contribute in the team, not just
Hmm.
coming in and thinking you can do it all right away the first year at least. You know what I mean? It takes
Hmm.
time, and I'm trying to tell the young guys the same thing. Like, yo, just know your strength and work towards it, and then let you know you can expand. As I'm sure once we left, you were the guy now. You have to do more
Hmm.
than just rebounding because rebounding was
Hmm.
not enough at that point. You have to score. You have
No.
to be able to be a captain, a leader, and lead the team to be able to get a ring
Hmm.
as well. So tell me a little bit about that once we left.
I mean, once you guys left, like it definitely shifted to me. I remember my sophomore year, like I felt like all the kind of lights shifted to me. And I don't know if I necessarily was ready for that because
Mm,
I got comfortable kind of in that role of like,
right,
okay, I have these vets that they're going to carry the load and my job is to come in and help when I can.
right,
Now it's like, oh, it's all on me now. Okay, this is a little different. Um, but I didn't have my best year my sophomore year. I think I just didn't perform the way I wanted to and the way I
hmm
worked to. Um, but one thing I never forgot is like energy. We always talked about energy in college.
hmm
And one thing Bosch always said that stuck with me is like, yo, be the same person every day. And that's what I just focus on is just like, okay, if the bucket's not going, if I'm not playing well, my energy is going to stay the same, my work ethic is going to stay the same. And thankfully, we had some really good players after you guys left that came in, and like Corey and
hmm
Mike Carey's
hmm
and Marcus was still there. We had a lot of really good players.
Mike Amen too,
Uh,
Kim, no?
Mike
Yeah,
Amon was a dog, you know what I'm saying? So we had some really good players that came in and helped. And I just kind of embraced the role as my college career went on as just being a leader by example, energy, effort, just always making sure that practice was ran a certain way
right,
and that like guys didn't try to slack off because it got tough, man. It got hard a lot of the times. And sometimes guys wanted to quit and I wanted to quit a lot of times, but I know that's not
right,
me. I can't, that's not me. That's not
yeah,
who I am. That's not how I was
yeah.
raised. So I never quit, no matter how tired I got. And I just try to lead by example that way. And we had some great success after you guys left, making it to the NIT and winning our conference one year. And
Yeah.
it was a great experience, man.
Absolutely. I mean, it's hard to win a game, especially at the NCAA level, man.
Everything is so every little mistake can
Yeah,
lose you the game in
yeah.
college, man. One small mistake.
Now I want to veer off a little bit off basketball because I think you have an interesting story. A lot of people don't know, and I want to share this, especially with my Canadian friends here. Um, you were by your senior year, tell me if I'm correct or wrong. By
Yeah,
your senior year, I believe, or junior year, you decide to, you know, try out both sport. Not just only
yeah,
both sport, but also you was taking, you were trying to be a nurse, which
yeah.
is I don't think people understand.
It's
Like I don't think
tough.
people. I mean, people in the nurse force, I'm sure they know, but like, man, that's a lot of study. Like, tell us
Yeah,
a little about this. I want people to know how crazy that was. Like for you to be not only a basketball and a football player, but also taking nurse courses. That's
nursing center
insane.
courses. Yeah. Well, yeah. What many people don't know is like that was also one of the main reasons I chose to go to Wagner because I knew even in college, in high school, like getting a Division One scholarship was important, but like life
Right.
after college was very important. And I have
Mm,
two parents in the healthcare field. My dad's a registered nurse, and my mom is a CNA. So I knew I was wanting to get in medicine, whether that be a doctor or something. I wanted to help people, so I chose Wagner because they had one of the top nursing programs in the country, and that's one of the ways that Coach Bosch sold me on Wagner too.
mm,
So from the moment I got on campus, I knew that was kind of my goal. But I always knew it was going to be tough once my junior year kind of rolled around when we started going to do clinicals and being in the hospital. So uh, I remember like the summer of my junior year, just trying to get as many of that stuff done in the summer as possible. So like we go have conditioning, practice, pick up, and then I go shower up real quick, put my scrubs on, and go to the
wow.
hospital, trying to get some clinical hours in.
Wow.
And I did that all summer in hopes that when the school year started, I kind of be ahead and be able to do it.
Hmm.
But it just got so tough, man, because the main classes were during practice time, and I'm getting my college paid for to play basketball, not to go to nursing school. So it was a stressful time just trying to balance everything and trying to figure out what my next steps were. But thankfully, like people at Wagner, they really looked out for me and
Yeah.
they tried to make it as easy on me as possible. Ultimately, I ended up having to switch my major to medical anthropology
Mm.
my junior year, giving me the opportunity, like if I want to go back to school, which I do plan on going back to school at some point, I could kind of roll back into the nursing program and jump right in with that. But it's hard, man. Especially like that's one thing I tell athletes is like it's tougher for us than the regular students because they don't have the responsibilities we have. They can go to these networking events and they can
Hmm.
go to these different things and focus on their future. Where we're really you're they say you're a student athlete, but you're really an athlete student. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? With
Yeah.
the as far as your time
Wow,
goes, like
that's
it's
crazy.
hard.
Yeah.
So but it taught me a lot about time management. It taught me how to handle my time. It taught me to be how to prioritize certain things and make sure I'm getting done what I need to get done. Uh, yeah, that was tough on me, man. I'm not gonna lie. That was a tough
Yeah, no,
time.
I bet it was. I bet it was, and it's funny you said it because um, I definitely truly believe that too. Like, I had a great time at Wagner. I mean, I did some great things, and we did all. We won some
Yeah,
games. You and I. You know, I was, still all time. It's not going to change. Um,
all time shot blocker. Yes, we know. We know.
I know you know. I got to make sure I tell you again one more time.
Yeah, yeah.
But one thing for sure that a little bit low key regret is to not be able to like just go on to like internship and like
Yeah.
like you said the workforce, like learn about financial stuff. And like I wish I did that a little bit more because again, like you said, we literally were athlete first and like put
Hmm.
your old eggs in one basket, like hope that you get drafted and make some money. But let's be real, how what's the chances of that happen to everybody?
Yeah.
Not a lot. It's very, very slim. So,
Hmm.
nowadays I try to tell all the time after, like, yes, obviously work on your game and like really, really believe in, like believe in your dream, just like you are right now. You're playing in the NFL, whatever. But at the same time, think about all the stuff outside of basketball, like whatever you want to do, like what you like to do. Pick your interest in those little things and trying to
Hmm.
like when you get some free time, just do those things. Ask somebody for advice or things of that nature. Because again, as an athlete, once it's all said and done, I mean, what's next? What's the next move, right? But
Yeah.
if you can
Yeah.
work on it while you're still training and still getting better on the sport at the sport level, at least you have both things waiting for you and just be there for you whenever you can,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, man. What was your major in college? I forgot.
And that's your business and marketing.
International business marketing. I got
Yeah,
you.
major
Yeah.
international business and mine and
Yeah.
marketing. You
I
know,
remember that.
no, you
Hey
don't.
man, hey, I do remember that. I mean, you were King Ming, but you ran campus, man. Like I remember that. Like anything Ming wanted, Ming got. I think that's where I learned it from. You definitely taught
That's
me how to move on
hey,
campus for sure.
hey, but you know what? It works, man. I'm telling
It
you.
works.
I
You
tell the
listen.
kids, listen, I'm in that's straight. I'm gonna keep this on the show too. That's straight fact. I tell the kids all the time, Leo, I was, and I know that for sure. I was not the smartest guy. Yes, as you know, immigrant, our parents always school, 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 school. I was like, I'm not a fan of school, but I had to be good at it because I would get, smack or whatever. But
Yeah.
the biggest thing for me, what got me to where I'm at, and like how I was able to even always go through education piece was I was always like I told you before, nice to everybody, and like always work
Hmm.
the teacher out. Like, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
I would bring like chocolate at Valentine's Day, like little
Yeah.
stuff. And again, just being just a genuine person, just be there for
Hmm.
people or whatever whenever they need. And that always the universe always going to get back to you. We should put something
Hmm.
positive in the universe, something positive going to come back no matter what, no matter
No matter what,
even
man.
for me to be out here in Canada where it's like, bro, I'd have few friends here, if not
Hmm.
none. It's
Hmm.
me and my wife, my kids, and like few of the guys that I know. But really, I don't have friends like you guys where we've done something together for quite some time, and I'm still be
Hmm.
able to like kind of like move forward with the company, the academy, and my family. I'm still be able to like do certain things. It's just because again I'm able to like create relationship and like be cool with everybody and be nice and little things like that. Just being as genuine as possible, and that's just the key in life and period. The more
Yeah,
you,
bro.
if you just if you're an asshole, I mean, you're gonna get some asshole vibes.
Yeah, man. You hit it on the head, man. How you treat people is how they're gonna treat you. And if you're just someone who takes, Nobody's
Mm.
gonna want to give you anything. Nobody's ever
Mm.
gonna want to show you. You know what I'm saying? Like I read this book called The 48 Laws of Power, and one of the laws is act as if you know nothing, so people will tell you everything.
Ooh.
You gotta be humble, man.
Ooh.
You gotta humble yourself. You gotta treat people with compassion and care, and you just gotta genuine be a genuine person and genuinely care about people because they'll care about you back. And like me, Wagner was a family. It's a very small school.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everybody. So if you hold a bad reputation, everybody knows you have a bad reputation, and nobody wants to work with you.
No,
None of the teachers want to give you a break. None of the teachers
that's
want
fair.
to put a little extra in to help you. But if they know you're a genuine person, you're a good person, you work hard, you treat people right, that's always gonna come back to you.
So now, okay, let's fast forward. I guess how did it even happen? Like the whole NFL
So
draft and
yeah, the whole thing. Oh well, so what happened was end of my junior year. It was during basketball season. The first time I even had the idea to play football in my head. I think we were like at Mount St. Mary's in the hotel, and I was just watching TV. I think college football, NBA, NFL was on TV, and I'm watching it. I'm looking at it like, man, these guys look like they're having fun. Like I think I could do this. Like it was just a thought in my head.
mm-hmm.
But like with everything I do before I make a decision, I try to pray on it, try to meditate on it, make sure it's the right thing. And the idea of football just never left my mind. So I remember halfway through the season approaching Bosch and I was like, "Hey Bosch, what would you think for the idea of if I decided to, walk onto the football team?" And like it took me a while to walk up to him and say that because I'm like, "Yo, he ain't gonna let me do that. Like
Right,
I'm
right.
here to play basketball." He's like, "Get out my face, bro. What's wrong with you? Like you're here to play basketball." But it was a complete opposite. He told him how I felt about it. He's like, "I think that's a great idea. Like check with Coach Haas, see what he thinks." And if he says it's okay, like I'll be so down to do it. So I remember going to Coach Haas, who was the head football coach at the time, and I told him my idea, like, would you be okay with me walking on the football team? And same thing with him. He was ecstatic. He's like, "Hey, we'd love to have you, but I want you to focus on the main thing, which is basketball. When the basketball season's over,
Mm-hmm.
we'll talk about it." And that year, that was like the best year we had. Made it to the NIT. We beat St.
Mm-hmm.
Bonaventure in the first round, and we had a really great year. And then after that year, after the basketball season was over, was able to start. I walked on the football team as a tight end during spring ball, and so that was my first taste of playing football. Getting my ass knocked over and beat up. And mind you, I'm just like I thought I was big on the
Right.
basketball court. I'm a big dude,
Yes,
but I
you
stepped
are.
on the football field. I was not a big dude. Like I'm
That's
getting knocked
crazy.
over. They moved me over the offensive line where you got these big 300-pound
Right. Yeah,
monsters.
yeah.
Mauling each other, and like it was one of those decisions. Like they told me like they wanted me to do this. We needed you here as the team, like just to help the team. And
Right.
I made the commitment to Bosch. I made the commitment to Coach Haas. It was one of those moments. I was like, man, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be a big dude. I don't want to. I can't do this. But I made the commitment, so I stuck with it and put on as much weight as I could through the summer, through
Mm.
training camp, and the season started. And man, I'm the starting right tackle. I'm like, okay, let's
That's
go. Like this is
crazy.
this is happening. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
I had great coaches and Coach Haas, Coach P,
Yeah.
Coach Wheeler, Coach Siasi, that guys that really they invested time into helping me become better
Mm-hmm.
and just helping me understand the game more. And that first season of me playing football was so much fun. Like college
Right.
football was probably the best time I had in college, just playing
Really.
sports in general, being part of such a big team. And
Right.
it was a new thing. It's like you
Right.
remember the first time
Right.
you touched a
Yeah.
basketball?
Yeah.
It was like that for football. And like every day I'm learning something.
I
Every
can
day I'm getting a
imagine.
little bit better. And same thing, I took that mentality I took in basketball. Like, I'm not gonna give up. I got my butt kicked many times. We
Right.
went up and played Boston College, got smoked. We played UMass, did not do much better. But I stuck with it. I had coaches that believed in me and I stuck with it and got better and better. But as the season was going on, I'd see more and more like college scouts show up at our practices. And they always travel around seeing what the talent is out there in the Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I found out like, oh, they're here to see me. They're here to see me.
Wow.
Like, okay, really, like me, like I'm 270 pounds, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Soaking wet. Like I'm not much of anything right now, but I guess there was some interest there. And my coaches would always like continue to push me and never let me get satisfied. And I had great
Mm-hmm.
teammates like Matt Diaz and Jordan Baskerville and Alex Thompson. I
Yeah.
can name so many guys that like they saw the potential in me before I did and then just kept pushing me and pushing me. And it's one of those things like you keep doing something, you keep working at it, you get better and better and better.
Right.
And yeah, that first year, my senior year was great. Played basketball and football that season. That was a great year. I remember the end of the football season was the last game, and that last game was the first game of the basketball season. So we won that last
Wow.
game. We had a terrible record though. We were like 3-5, so we weren't going to make the playoffs. But I remember taking my pads off, not even showering, then running across the street to the Spiro Center,
Spiro.
putting my jersey on, and I'm in the layup lines. My big
Oh,
ass, 300,
wow.
275 pounds. I'm in the layup lines. Bosh is surprised, like, he is like, yeah, I'm ready, coach. I thought he was gonna play me that game. He's like, nah, Greg, you're not gonna play. Go take 2 weeks off, bro. It was golf football season.
Right.
I ended up taking a week off because I've never been one of those people that could just sit around. Like, I hate not
Oh, I
doing
know
nothing.
you don't. Yo, has always loved to be in the gym or working. Like, just take a break, man. Jeez.
Yo, I should have taken the 2 weeks, but I took a week off and came back and finished my senior year, bro. Great year. Just finishing with my guys. Felt good just to finish what I started with basketball.
Right.
And then, getting to my senior day, having my family on campus, finishing up with Bosh and all the coaches, like thanking them for everything they've done for me. And it was great knowing that I had a fifth year to come back and just focus on playing football. Yeah. So that fifth year was able to come back. I had one class, which was great. One Friday class.
Wow. That's amazing.
1 day a week.
Wow.
So
bro, that was a breeze. That was a
breeze. A breeze.
Wow.
Bro.
Wow.
It was my thesis class, but still, it was great. Still. And it was great because it was kind of like I was a pro already because my main focus was getting bigger, stronger, and focusing on football. And that fifth year is kind of when everything took off for me, where like now I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I'm faster, I understand the game more, and more coaches are showing up. I remember my senior year in the basketball season, we had NFL scouts at our basketball practice.
What?
Crazy, bro. I'm here doing chaparral shooting.
Right.
And then like these 3 NFL scouts come in. I start dunking. I start doing, I'm trying to show up. I'm running. I'm like, oh, nah, I'm taking it to another level.
Right.
Yeah, Greg, you acting up. I was like, hey, hold up. But everyone saw, I'm like, you see these guys here. They're looking, I'm trying to show out.
Facts.
And, but that fifth year was great, bro. And just getting all that attention. And more than for me, it was like being able to have those guys there to see other talent on our team.
Yeah,
because
that's dope.
We probably weren't the most winningest football team, but we had talent, man. I don't know if you know Cam Gill. He just signed undrafted the last draft in 2020. Signed undrafted to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Made their team. Just won a Super Bowl.
Shoot.
The year after I won the Super Bowl, and that gives me so much joy. Like, man. Maybe if I wasn't there, not saying I'm the reason, but by God's grace, if that would have happened, he probably wouldn't be there.
Oh, for sure.
But knowing that, like, guys like him, guys like Chris Williams, he's signed to the Indianapolis Colts right now on their practice squad. Like, these are guys that I came in. Like, when I started playing football, they were freshmen.
Yeah,
we would battle. Yeah. And to see, like, my little brothers do so well and do well for themselves makes me happy, man. But that senior year, like, end of the year, I get invited to the East-West Shrine game, which is like a big all-star game for Division I college football players down in Florida. Went down there, did my thing, played well, a little more exposure. Then I get invited to the NFL Combine. Things I never thought would happen, bro.
Right.
Like, I come from a first-generation Haitian-American family. Like, I played my whole life. My whole life was basketball. And then, like, to make this transition where guys like, nah, you thought it was basketball. It's this, actually.
No,
I was preparing you for this. You thought I was preparing you for that. I'm preparing you for this. And bro, just to go through that whole process, and it was fun, it was stressful, it was joyful, it was sad, a lot of emotions. But to get drafted and get that call on that third day, from the Baltimore Ravens, like in the 6th round, hey Greg, this is Ozzie Newsome.
Hold on. Where were you when he called you? Exactly.
So, exactly. So my agency, Sports Stars, they're actually based out of New York, and my agent had rented out this like Irish pub. It was like in Hell's Kitchen on 40-something street in New York. And he rented it out for me, my family, my girl at the time. My cousins were there, everybody. And he just rented it out for us to watch the draft. So we were all together. And mind you, I thought I was going to go in the 3rd round to the Eagles or whatever, something like that. And that obviously didn't happen. So, like, it was one of those most stressful days where I'm just sitting, I'm seeing people getting drafted. I'm calling my other boys who are in the draft too, checking up on them. And the rounds go by. And then you start to get calls, right, as the drafts get later. And they're calls, but they're not draft calls. They're like, hey, Greg, if you don't get drafted, we want you to sign you as an undrafted free agent. So every time my phone's ringing, I'm getting excited. But it's just a team asking me, like, hey, if you don't get drafted. So we're there for like 4 or 5 hours, man, just sitting
Wow.
together and like nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden my phone rings and it's a Maryland number. And I pick it up. I go to the back room because it's loud. Everybody gets quiet. Everybody
Right.
gets quiet. And I'm like, I'm talking. I'm like, hello? He's like, yeah, this is Greg Senat. He's like, yeah. It's like, oh, this is Ozzie Newsome, the GM of the Baltimore Ravens. I said, oh, hey, sir, how you doing? He's like, hey, are you ready to become a Baltimore Raven? I said, yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. Like, I'm just so grateful. And
Wow.
he's like, all right, pass you over. Then I talked to Coach Harbaugh. He's like, hey, Greg, we're excited to have you, man. Can't wait for you to be
Good.
part of the team. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm talking to them. Come back in the room. I tell them, yo, I'm a Baltimore Raven. My whole
Whoa.
family going crazy. My mom, my dad. Like, I wish I could record it, bro. I get emotional thinking about it. But
I know
like
your
everyone
mom
was
went
just so happy.
nuts.
Well, you know how moms do, bro. She was going crazy, praising the Lord, dancing, all
Right.
types of stuff. And bro, it was just a beautiful moment, man. And my agent had bought like he had sent one of his interns to go to like to Lids on in Times Square, and he
Hmm.
bought all the hats. He bought every hat from every team. And then like I come out and there's
You
like
dead
Baltimore Ravens
ass?
hats everywhere. I'm like, where'd you get this? He's like, I was ready. I was ready. Don't worry. He bought hats from every team, like 3 different hats from every team. And then they pulled the rug. I put my Ravens hat on and my family had hats and we were just taking pictures. It was just a joyous moment, bro. Like it's
Wow.
another one of those moments, like in college, like when I was in
Yeah.
high school. Put in the work, the hard work pays off.
Yeah.
Put in the
Yeah.
work, the hard work pays off. Put in the work, and the hard work paid off, man. And it was beautiful, bro. And like that's honestly the story of my life. Is like I'm never gonna be the one that people see right away. I'm never gonna be the one that like
Oh, for
catches
sure.
your eye right away. But
Yup.
one thing
Yeah.
about me is I'm never gonna stop working. You know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna stop trying to put my best foot forward. I'm never gonna stop trying to treat people with respect because that's how I was raised.
Yeah.
But I'm never gonna stop working. And
Wow.
that's still my story to this day, man. I'm not where I want to be in the NFL, but I know if I continue to work like I've done my entire life,
Right.
good things are gonna happen.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's a man. I'm speechless right now. That's crazy. I didn't even know. I know obviously a little bit about the whole scenario, but I didn't know in depth like
Mhm.
that. Like, that's insane, man. That's wow.
It's
Big
crazy.
congrats, bro. That's huge.
Thanks, brother.
That's huge. And now, then is that a year after that you went with the Chief? You played for the Chief?
Yeah. So when I got drafted by the Baltimore Ravens, I was with them all. Obviously, that was my first team. I was with them the whole year. But what happened was my last preseason game of that summer, I tore my foot. I had extreme turf toe, so I had to plantar plate
Wow.
reconstruction. I had to have surgery on my foot, and it was one of those a big ass roadblock that I wasn't expecting. Like I
Mm,
was playing well, I'm getting better, and all of a sudden everything stops. I'm out for the
mm,
entire year. Can't play. Have to have surgery 4 days after my birthday, 4 days before my birthday, and I'm hurt the entire season. So all I could do is sit there and watch. I can't participate. I'm watching everyone
right.
play. All the rookies that come in and get an opportunity, and it's not happening for me. And it was sad, but I had to get over and continue to work. And I worked my butt off that summer to get healthy, come back, play hard, and then now I'm in camp again with the Baltimore Ravens. And I'm doing well. I make the team the next year. I
Hmm.
make the team the next year. I'm a Baltimore Raven, but I was maybe a Baltimore Raven for 2 weeks. And
Right.
then they decide to release me. Like the GM calls me up. He says, hey, Greg, we have to make some moves on defense, et cetera, et cetera. We got to
Right.
release you to add somebody, but we're hoping to bring you back on practice squad. So I'm like, oh man, damn, I wasn't expecting this. I've been working my butt off and now I'm getting released. But my agent was like, hey, don't worry about it. When they release you, I got released on a Friday. And in the NFL, you're not allowed to do business on the weekends.
Hmm.
So he said, you have until next Sunday, another team could claim you. So I don't remember, maybe it was that Sunday night or that Monday. Um, my agent tells me, you're going to get a call from the Chiefs. They want to sign you. I'm like, really?
Whoa.
I get a call, the Chiefs, they sign me. The very next day, I'm on a flight out to Kansas City. Now I'm a Kansas City Chiefs. I'm on the team. I'm like, ooh, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I went from one great team to another great
Right.
team, man.
Yeah.
They're lost. I'm happy. I'm back. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna work. I'm gonna get right. And I'm with the team for the next 6 weeks. I'm active. I'm traveling. I'm doing everything. I get hurt again. I get hurt in Kansas City. The same foot, just a slight injury, little bone, little fracture in my foot. So now I'm out for the rest of the season. So I was active for half the season. In the last 8 games through the Super
Hmm.
Bowl, I'm injured. So I can't practice. I can't play. And I'm just trying to, stay positive, stay
Hmm.
working. Same things I've always practiced in my life. I'm just trying to stay engaged as much as
Engaged.
possible
Yeah.
with the team. And that year, obviously, we had a great year. Like
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes balled out, the whole team balled out, made it to the Super Bowl against the 49ers, and we won. Great experience. Had my brother down there with me.
That's
Got
crazy.
to win a Super Bowl. Got to celebrate with my teammates and get a Super Bowl ring. My second year in the NFL, which is insane.
That's it.
Coming from where I come from, insane,
Yes, it is.
bro. Insane, bro.
That's like watching a movie right here.
Honestly, bro. Like, and yours always like I always try to remember, man. Keep your life in perspective. Like the moment you're in right now, where things aren't going well, that's not your whole life. It's a moment. Moments
Mhm.
pass. You got to continue to keep your life perspective. Look toward the future, because like God looks at your life from up top. We look at everything right here.
Right.
Your life is a journey, man. Like it can go up, it can go down. You don't know what's coming. You just gotta
Yeah.
keep pushing forward. But yeah, was with that with the Chiefs that year. Then I
How
came back
was
with the
it?
Chiefs.
How was that a I mean, Patrick Mahomes, like just being around him, like what was his work ethic? What was it like?
Man, he's the hardest worker in the room, bro. He's extremely smart, great human being. Like everybody loves him, and
Mm,
for rightfully so. Like he loves everyone on his team. He treats you like he may be this big superstar, but
right.
he doesn't act like this big
Right.
superstar.
That's awesome.
But one thing about him, bro, he works. He knows everybody's job. As talented as he is physically, mentally, he knows the game. Like he sees things before they happen. So watching him play live and being there on the field is special. Like you see him making these crazy passes,
Right.
these crazy plays, and like just winning games by himself. Sometimes it's insane.
That's
He's
insane.
he's he's the real deal.
That's what's
He's the
up.
real deal.
That's crazy. Man, this is amazing. And now you were the team
Mhm.
that I love the most out of all the team in the NFL, the Cowboys. Even though that that suck, but
Everybody loves the Cowboys, don't it?
huh?
I said everybody loves the top
I
Cowboys,
know
don't
that
they?
everybody like the Cowboys for
America's
some
team.
reason. I don't know why, but maybe that swag or
America's
whatever.
team.
The jersey, I don't know something about the Cowboys. So how was that with the Cowboys? How was that?
Well, before the Cowboys, I was with the Cleveland Browns for 4 weeks. So
True.
after last season, going through camp with the Chiefs, um, they didn't resign me, so I was a free agent and decided to go to Cleveland Browns on the practice squad. And I was there for 4 weeks. Another part of the journey. All right, I'm not where I thought I want to be, but I'm gonna keep working. And I kept my head down, and I got better every day. Had some great coaches, Coach Callahan, Coach Scott Peters, Coach Stefanski was the head coach of the Browns, and um, I just worked my butt off, and I think they saw the effort I put in and how I got better for those 4 weeks I was with them. But after that
Mm,
fourth week, I don't know if you know how it works. So when you're on practice squad in the NFL, every week is like a new week for you. So at the end
right.
of every week, you're technically a free agent. So any team in the NFL can grab any player off
Right.
any team's practice squad and just pick you up.
Okay.
So we had played. When I was with the Browns, we went down to Dallas. We played the Cowboys, and when we got back, I found out the Cowboys wanted to sign me on their active roster.
Oh,
So got the call. They want to sign me. I flew from Cleveland to Dallas. Now I'm a Dallas Cowboy after week 4 of last season. So I spent all year with the Cowboys, and it was great, bro. I love being here. I love the team, love the teammates, love my coaches. Like it's a great organization. We didn't have a
it's the
great winning
Cowboys.
season.
We
Yeah,
mean, it's the Cowboys. You mean, like, you can't- yes, you may not win a lot of games, but that's a big old club right there.
it's a big. I mean, it's the biggest franchise in the world, really, in
Yeah.
sports. But yeah, I mean, I loved it. We didn't have a great winning season, but I mean, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about the game, being able
Mm,
to play, being able to be active and contribute in any way I could with the team was great. Mind you, being the first time in my career where I was healthy the whole year and being able to play
right.
and be around it
Right.
was so important for me and so vital for me. And I embraced every moment of it. And yeah, man, I enjoyed it. I grew a lot as a player. I love the city, living down here and everything like that. But
Well,
then
it
the
doesn't
season
snow, of
ended.
course.
Yeah,
It doesn't snow. It's always nice. I mean,
yeah, bro. I
what's
mean,
your
coming
complaint?
from New York, we're in the Northeast, bro. We know what snow is. It don't snow down here. It's
Right.
beautiful. But that was that. Like this past year was the end of my rookie deal, so I was a free agent essentially after the season for a few weeks, and then found out that the Browns wanted to bring me back and sign me. So like for me personally, that's I mean, I appreciate that. And that's a great respect to them. And it's an
Hmm.
attest to how hard I worked with them
Absolutely.
for them to see something in me to bring me back to their organization,
Absolutely.
which is growing and doing amazing things. And I love the way they run things there and the coaches from the coaches to the players. So now I'm a Cleveland Brown. I'm signed to them and I'm excited to get down there and go back to work with them, bro, and finish off where I started.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of, I think personally, like I have a lot of unfinished business there and things I
Right.
want to prove
Right.
for myself, to them, as a player. So I'm just excited to get back up there.
Wow. Man, Greg, that's tough. That's what's up, man. This is now this is amazing, amazing talk.
For
Really
sure, man.
appreciate it. Thanks for coming in